So in the midst of a very important offseason for the Los Angeles Lakers, news just broke that LeBron James will be opting into his $52 million player option and remaining with the Los Angeles Lakers for one more season. LeBron James will be going into his 8th season with the Los Angeles Lakers, coming off a season where he's averaging 24 points per game, 8 rebounds and 8 assists on a 60% true shooting. But that is not the crazy part, and that's not the part we're going to be talking about. The part we're going to be talking about is, I quote, Paul adds, LeBron knows the Lakers are building for the future, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. He also added, we understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at the stage of his life and career. So with this small grain of news, we all know that social media and the basketball world is going to react. Is LeBron James going to get traded? Is LeBron James going to request a trade? Is LeBron James going to be on another team? Everybody's already mocking a trade, but I think this is a little bit more layered than that. And I think Paul added a very, very, very important mixture into what he said. He said, we understand how hard it is with winning it all and adding to the future. And the future is Luca Donic. For those who do not know, a few months ago, Luca Donic was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers and it took the world by storm. Luca Donic was at the time a 25-year-old phenom who just led his team to the NBA Finals the season prior. But with the weight gaining issues and the defensive issues that Nico Harrison had with Luca Doncic, he sent him away to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick. And to start off, this very important offseason for the Los Angeles Lakers is getting off to a really rocky start. LeBron James makes some type of quote saying that he wants to watch closely what the Los Angeles Lakers are going to do this offseason, which any star player would want to do. And now Dorian Finney-Smith is opting out of his player option and going to free agency. So in this episode of At the Buzzer Sports, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, how important this offseason is LeBron James going to be traded? So before we start off, I kind of want to do like a short recap of the Los Angeles Lakers season. Obviously, you start out with a brand new head coach in JJ Redick, someone who had a podcast with LeBron James and was scrutinized for signing with the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Los Angeles Lakers were scrutinized for signing him as a head coach. Obviously, there was a lot of other options that had way more experience than JJ Redick. JJ Redick has never been a coach for an actual NBA team. He's never been an assistant coach for an NBA team. And to start out the year, I think the Los Angeles Lakers looked a lot different offensively. They were still god-awful defensively, but I think offensively, the more sets they ran, the more three-point shooting that they added to the team, and the pace that they played with, I think was a lot better. But like any Los Angeles Lakers season, it comes with its ups and downs. Anthony Davis clearly didn't look like the defender he has in past regular seasons, and LeBron James has had stretches where he just did not look like the player we all know as LeBron James. But Anthony Davis goes down and LeBron James has a stretch where he's averaging 29 points per game on 46% from three on 7 attempts a night. And then they end up trading for Luca Doncic, which set the world on fire. The Los Angeles Lakers were around the 6th or 7th seed in the NBA, and they didn't look like they had a clear future past Anthony Davis and LeBron James. LeBron James is 40 years old. We don't know how much longer he's going to play, and Anthony Davis was riddled with injuries. I know he's played a lot more over these past few seasons, but there's still the risk of him being hurt. So with this new trade of Luca Doncic, the Lakers instantly get younger with now a 26-year-old phenom in Luca Doncic that could play for the Los Angeles Lakers at a high level for the next 7 to 8 years. But the biggest problem with that is the Lakers did not have a center. So they had to be very, very, very careful with how they used their team, how they played their defense, and they ran a very small lineup. One of their most lineups used was Luca Doncic, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Rui Hachimura. And with this team, they had a mixture of bad point of attack defense and bad rim protection. But somehow it was working. They were denying every non-shooter on the floor. They were packing the paint. They were swarming guys the second they got 2 feet inside of 8 feet. It was working. It was working. And due to some shooting variance, the Lakers looked like one of the better defenses in the NBA. Even with their lack of personnel, they looked like one of the better defenders in the NBA. And I caught some slack for this by saying I wasn't truly convinced of the Lakers defense and how it would perform in the playoffs. But nonetheless, the Lakers went 50-32 this season, which was their first 50-win season ever since they won the championship back in the bubble. And things were high for the Los Angeles Lakers. They go into the playoffs against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and everybody picked the Los Angeles Lakers due to the late game offensive execution and Anthony Edwards' lack of playmaking. And then we get into the playoffs where everything was exposed. Everything was exposed. Our rim protection, our rebounding, our point of attack defense, and LeBron James and Luca Doncic late game offense didn't look the best either. So going into this offseason, we knew there was some clear needs for this Los Angeles Lakers team. Some size in your center rotation and some point of attack defense. That is what the Lakers need, and they knew that going into the offseason, and it was very, very evident in the playoffs. And I think the struggles of Luca Doncic was very apparent this season. Coming off of an injury in the playoffs last year and getting re-injured during the regular season while he was still with Dallas showed a lot in this season. With the Los Angeles Lakers, Luca Doncic averaged 28 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 7.5 assists, which on base level looked like some really good stats, but he shot 49% inside the arc, which is the lowest in his career, and he only took 10% of his shots from 0 to 3 feet, which is also the lowest in his career. And you can tell Luca Doncic just struggled to get past more athletic defenders, and something like that showed in last year's playoffs as well, which is something we don't know Luca for. And this is where all of the jokes about him not being in shape, him not being able to win off the dribble, it just makes shots very hard for Luca Doncic, which is why he struggled earlier in this tenure with the Los Angeles Lakers. So also to add on to the center rotation and point of attack defense, you also have to get Luca Doncic in shape. Luca Doncic has to be in shape, and he has to be in championship shape for the Los Angeles Lakers to be successful throughout the regular season. And I think we've all seen the pictures of Luca Doncic. He looks like he's in fantastic shape. He looks like he's lost a lot of weight. And I'm telling you, he's my MVP pick. But now this goes back to LeBron James taking his player option for $52 million. And I've seen on the timeline a lot of people say, why would he not take a pay cut at this stage in his career so the Lakers could add more talent? And this is kind of something that's very tricky, and I don't necessarily like to talk about what he could have done or what someone could have done with $52 million in front of them. For a guy like me, I'm taking the money. I don't make $52 million a year. I probably never will make $52 million a year. And that's where I feel like it's tricky to talk about these players and what contracts they should take. Obviously, if LeBron would have taken a pay cut, it would have gave the Lakers a little bit more wiggle room to try and bring in more guys. But if you look at LeBron James' side, it's $52 million. He wants to build generational wealth. He already has generational wealth, and why not add to it? But the truth of the matter is, LeBron taking a pay cut would have really helped the team. And him taking in and opting into that $52 million deal, it does put the Lakers in a chokehold just a tad bit. And I've also seen people say if he would have taken the pay cut, maybe the Lakers would have more room to build a better team around Luca Doncic and LeBron James. And I think this is the struggling part of where the Lakers are right now, because you can build for the future, but you also have the top end talent to win today. And we've seen teams try and go about this by building for the future while building to win right now. And it's a hard thing to do because some young guys just aren't ready to play in those high leverage situations. So when you have these older players playing in high leverage situations with a lot of younger guys, it could lead to a lot of mistakes. For example, the Golden State Warriors, when they should have traded those lottery picks they had, instead they drafted James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody. And if we look now, James Wiseman isn't on the team. Jonathan Kuminga wants $30 million, which he's not going to get from Golden State. And Moses Moody has just cracked the rotation. So this is a very thin line that the Los Angeles Lakers could be walking this offseason. And I currently say that you should be trying to win now. You have a superstar in LeBron James that is 40, is going to be 41 years old this season coming up. And you have to build to win right now. That is the goal. And you have Luca Doncic, who's 26. I understand that is still young in the NBA, but you can go get guys that are 27 and 28 that can match his timeline. You don't have to bring in guys that are 22 to 23 years old. The future is now. And I definitely think there has been some centers that have moved off the market. Mark Williams, who we tried to trade for earlier in the draft, is off the market. Daniel Gafford just got re-signed with the Dallas Mavericks. There are some centers that have been moved off the market, but there are still some centers that I think can do a solid job with the Lakers. Nick Claxton is still out there after the Nets just drafted another center in Danny Wolf, and still have guys like Day'Ron Sharpe and Noah Clowney. I think Walker Kessler can still be in a Laker uniform if they send the right pieces. I think Robert Williams and DeAndre Ayton can also be in Laker uniforms. Now, do I love that? Maybe not, but that's still a center on the market. I think Clint Capella, even though he's been very underwhelming over the past few seasons, can still be a serviceable backup center. You just need size. You need size. It may not be perfect, but it has to be better than Jackson Hayes. It has to be. And the Lakers need point of attack defense. There are two things that the Los Angeles Lakers need. They have been in talks of trading for Andrew Wiggins. Don't know how much smoke there is there, but there definitely have been some talks about the Lakers trading for Andrew Wiggins. I think a guy like Matisse Thybulle could be really good for the Los Angeles Lakers. I think there are Nickeil Alexander-Walker in free agency. If you could scrape together the money to go sign him, I think all of that stuff is important. Because I think a big three of Austin Reeves, Luca Donic, and LeBron James provides you enough offense to where you can go get guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker and not lose a lot offensively. And I think the Lakers are feeling the pressure of having to win or be in championship conversations next season. And part of me feels like they have to be, but part of me feels like they don't. I feel as though the weaknesses need to be addressed, but I feel as though just because it's the Lakers, that they have to win a championship next year or it is a disappointment. This is how it is every single season that we have high leverage players on the Los Angeles Lakers. It's always championship or bust. It always is. And I'm not saying the Los Angeles Lakers need to be a championship team next year. What I'm saying is address the weaknesses first. Address the weaknesses. Don't make any stupid decisions trying to rush something. Just address every weaknesses you can with good logic behind it. I think drafting Adu Thero was a really good pick for the future. I think Adu Thero is very athletic. I think he can run in transition with Luca Doncic. I think he can catch lobs from Luca Doncic, and I think he can be a really good defender in this league. But will he be ready next year? No. There are very few moments when second round picks are available the very next day or the very next season to play for a championship level team or a team with championship aspirations. But having that idea of we need more athleticism, we need more lob catchers, we need more defenders, that is the right process to go about this offseason. So with all that being said, that leads me back to the decision. Do I think LeBron James is going to get traded? No. I think LeBron James is putting pressure on the Lakers organization to execute this offseason. That's all I think this is. I don't think LeBron James is going to request a trade. I think there's way too much smoke going around this small thing. We see superstar players do this all the time. They're trying to put pressure on the organization to build a proper team around said player. And LeBron James obviously knows that with a talent like Luca Doncic, this may be the last opportunity he has to win another championship. I would be putting all the pressure I possibly can on this Los Angeles Lakers team to build a contender around us. And could he have made it easier by taking a pay cut? Yes. But is he wrong for wanting all the money that they offered to give him? No. The Los Angeles Lakers knew what they were doing by giving him a $52 million player option at 41 years old. They knew what they were doing. You're going to tell me that as a grown-ass man, you're just going to, oh yeah, I'll take $35 million. No. I don't know. This is the same thing with Bradley Beal. I don't see why people get mad at Bradley Beal for not wanting to waive his no trade clause to go to the Utah Jazz. If I'm living in Phoenix, my family is happy living in Phoenix, I'm making $50+ million, and I get to choose where I want to go, why are y'all mad at Bradley Beal? So that's just the disagreement I have with the community of the NBA, getting mad at players for taking the money that these teams are offering them and using some of the deals or using some of the clauses that they have in their contract. I don't understand that at all. But all in all, I don't think LeBron James is getting traded. I think he's putting pressure on this Lakers organization. I think LeBron is going to start the year with the Los Angeles Lakers. I think he's going to finish his career with the Los Angeles Lakers. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys like that type of content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please make sure you guys turn on your notification bell and make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at @thebuzzersports_. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at ATBSports1. Make sure you join my playback room at the Buzzer Sports, where we're going to be watching historical games all off season. Let me know in the comment section. Do you guys think LeBron James is getting traded? If you think he's getting traded, drop a trade package. See what you guys are working with. See what teams fit him best. And with all that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.